You may have stumbled across the term Ascended Masters while reading about ascension, energy healing, or other spiritual matters. Before we describe who the Ascended Masters are, there are some terms and spiritual ideas you should be familiar with first. We're going to discuss basic principles of karma, reincarnation, and ascension. What is karma? Put it simply, karma is the law of cause and effect. In physics, we call this Newton's third law. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. This continuous cycle of making a choice and then reaping the rewards or facing the consequences is the karmic cycle. Many spiritual systems hold that belief that at the end of our lives, we have dealt with our karma and we enter the next life with karmic debt. Reincarnation is the spiritual concept that our souls are reborn into another physical form to continue dealing with the karma we have built upon from the previous life. Depending on the karmic debt we acquire during each lifetime, we will go through several reincarnation cycles. Many people misunderstand this concept and believe that really bad choices in a previous life led to a really hard life on this next go-round. It seems logical, but it's not exactly how karma and reincarnation work. Suffering is not only the way to pay back karmic debt, but by choosing to be compassionate, loving, non-judgmental, you can make up for times in previous lives when you were less kind. Rather than penance, karma is about balance. More suffering does not balance the scales, but love and kindness do. Understanding ascension is the process of moving beyond the karmic cycle. To ascend, you must pay off all your karmic debt so that you will not incarnate into a physical form in your next lifetime. It's not an easy thing to do, but it's what many are trying to achieve. It's important to also understand the idea of higher selves. When thinking about ascension, this is the belief that while our souls occupy our physical bodies, we also have a part of us that is outside of our physical selves. This part of us is always communicating with us, trying to guide us to a higher path. To ascend is to merge with your higher self. When you consistently choose to take the higher path, making every choice out of compassion and kindness, you will pay off your karmic debt, and your reincarnation cycle will merge with your higher self outside of the physical body. Now that you understand the concepts of karma, reincarnation, and ascension, it's much easier to understand who the Ascended Masters are. Ascended Masters are those who were once human, like all of us, but paid off their karmic debt and mastered ascension. They no longer have a physical body, but unlike other spiritual beings like spirit guides or angels, they once had one and can relate to the frustrations of the karmic cycle. That means each of us is essentially an Ascended Master in training. Ascended Masters have a huge knowledge base that they can consult with. They have lived through physical limitations of reincarnation cycle, and they have experienced the great power of higher dimensions. It is believed that they want to work with each of us to guide us through the initiation, ascension process. Awesome. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Andromeda 7, your celestial gateway, your channel for community support, help, friendship, love, knowledge, and just plain being of value to others. Welcome back. If you're new to the channel, it's always good to have you with us. If you're returning, welcome, welcome. And you know what tonight is? It's Friday night. It's time to feed your mind and grow your heart. And tonight's topic is the Ascended Masters. And who are they? Like to welcome our panel tonight. We have Teresa D'Anton, Sophia Rasmussen, Max Vision from Max Vision, our special guest Angel, welcome. Everyone knows Grandpa Brian, good to have you with us, and Dalabar Suki, our very own intellectual
Wizard.
master.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
You betcha. Teresa, would you like to take it from here?
I shall give it my best shot.
Awesome, sister.
All right. Well, before Lori does the traditional shout out to everyone in the chat room, and Sophia's going to tell us a little bit about our friend Angel. You all know him from the chat room as John with the long mustache,
That's right.
aka Angel.
Mhm.
And his partner, who's out there in the chat room as well, Michaela. Good to see you, Michaela. I told her to stick her face in over your shoulder there and say hi to everybody when she gets a chance, Angel.
She heard you now. So it's
All
okay.
right.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, look, Lori's video pretty much says it all in terms of our take on things. Now, you'll notice in our YouTube description, we talk about maintaining our integrity of what we feel is our truth. And we share that with the rest of you to open up the conversation. And then the rest of you will have various different takes on what this energy is and who these ascended masters
There
are.
she is.
Hi, Michaela.
There she
Hi,
is.
beautiful.
Hi, Michaela. Good to
She's
see
gonna
Lucky
go
you.
back
dude,
and watch.
Angel. Lucky
What
man.
I do?
You're
Yes.
lucky. She's fabulous.
Yes, she is. She is
Just
fabulous.
as it should be.
But anyway, there's so many different takes on this, and
And ours is just one. Ours is just one. So
yeah,
everybody has their own opinion, and they should, because everybody's on a completely different path. So whatever your truth is for you, it is
right,
very well respected here, and we allow each and every one of us to have that. And there's
right.
no, what's the word I'm looking for? There's no judgment on what your
No,
views are. So just know you're in a safe place, and you're more than welcome to share your personal views. Okay.
yeah, there's so different, so many different. I never even heard the term ascended masters until recently, and it's not something I studied in philosophy or anything like that, and it's relatively new on the human scene in terms of lingo, which was introduced by the Theosophical Society back in what, the 1500s. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not really like it's been a term that's been kicked around since the beginning of ancient times. You don't read
Yeah.
about it in ancient manuscripts or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's various different perspectives on what these energies are and what their value is. I take a stance that it's part of myself connecting with my higher self, and
Mm-hmm.
there are different aspects of energy that I've connect to when I need guidance, but
Mm-hmm.
it's all within me. Nothing is from outside of me. I worship nothing outside of self. It's all within, and the ability for my higher self to
Yeah.
connect with all these energies, to bridge that energy for me. That's
Mm-hmm.
what it means to me. For others, it could mean something entirely different. So
Yeah.
we're
You know
going to
what's
kick it around tonight. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Lori.
what's interesting is there were three questions that really popped up in my mind when we decided to do the show on this
Mm-hmm.
subject. And the first one was, what is an ascended master? How do they serve others? And what makes them an ascended master? Now, anyone that watches the channel knows that we do have a unique connection to the divine spirit. I have two very cool guides that I work with, and both of them are my guides and mentor. And I thought, why not just ask him and see what his take was on the ascended master? So I asked him, what is an ascended master? And this was his reply. He says, we are a group of souls who incarnate, then ascend to offer wisdom and assistance to those who ask for guidance and help on their path to a soul's growth. We have many lifetimes to draw from to aid and assist you on your unique paths. And I thought this was very interesting. What he's going to say next is, we are very old souls. All souls are the same age. Some just have more life experience than others. And we're very smart and wise. So then I asked him, how how do they serve others? And he said, we guide, love, and assist you. We work with your higher selves to ensure your success in learning, and all you can also be the best version of you. And they see things from all angles. And then lastly, he says, I asked him, I said, well, what makes an ascended master? And he said, I am an ascended master because I've done the hard work required to teach others, to assist them in their growth as a soul being, and we are forever teaching others. We are the cream of the crop, and we are the students who learn and grow and then become the teachers. And I thought that was fascinating and wanted to share that with everyone because that really is my understanding personally of what an ascended master is. And most of us are on that path to ascension and becoming an ascended master. Anyway,
I
go
would
ahead.
say just like what I said in the last show about intuition being like your tech support for this realm. Well, the
Uh-huh.
ascended masters, those would be like the customer service for
Yeah,
this realm.
the
They would
Yeah.
be like the
CSRs.
customer service.
Yep, I
CSRs.
Exactly.
agree.
Yeah.
From one perspective, being
Well
an
put.
ascended master seems to be a horrible choice. Because I'm sorry, but if I'm there having to be tech support for everybody for the rest of eternity, I don't really like that idea.
It's a
I think they
choice.
sign up
You
for it.
know?
It's
Yeah.
no. Don't get this wrong or not wrong. That's the wrong word. Look at it this way: when you're in service in a situation like that, it's because you choose to do that. You are a sovereign being. You have free will, and you can do anything you want to spend your time at. It's just that these types of beings have reached that point where they get a lot of gratification out of
Yeah.
helping
It
others.
sounded a little bit like being an angel or Santa Claus being at the behest of
Well, and that is
others,
kind of your view of what that is. Yeah, interesting.
Well, the energies, to me, when I was growing up, and I was only, 3 years old, when I encountered an energy that came to me on a consistent basis, it's something that I needed. And I was too young to know what it was. And I was too young to be in any kind of indoctrination in any kind of religion or anything like that. Although I grew up in a Catholic family. So I guess I was dragged to church and had some impressions of things. But for the most part, I just felt an energy essence that um, was inside of me, but also not inside of me. It wasn't a savior, but it was something that was more of a companion or a friend. And I referred to her as Great Mother. And as I got older and went through my life as a teenager and then as a young adult, I periodically connected with Great Mother, and I still do. And I always thought when I got older that I was connecting with an angel energy of some kind, like a guardian angel. It wasn't until in my later years I realized this is not the same as an angel energy, but they're very close. And they're available to me just like an angel is available to me. So I came to the realization there's some kind of a team going on out there, and there are
That's
different
right.
aspects of myself as well as everybody else's aspects. So there's pieces of Lori out there, and Sophia, and John, and Dalibor, and everybody's out there because you've been through different life cycles, and you've got this accumulated knowledge and energy, and you're part of the what they call now that universal consciousness,
The whole.
the whole.
Mhm.
And so I have access to any one of your higher selves in addition to my own.
Mhm.
Well, it's
So
just
it's
like
a team.
when you're in a forum, like let's say a Linux forum or whatever, where you have different users and they have
Mhm.
different degrees of proficiencies.
It's your tech support.
And yeah, some of these users may have been there in that same forum looking for an answer to a question, but you came along and you asked a really simple question, and this more experienced user just came and said, "Oh, it's
Yeah.
just this." Just go Control Alt Backspace or whatever, you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that would be like a good equivalence for that, because these ascended masters are essentially just humans. It's just
Yeah.
that they've been through the birthright of being born, living a life here on Earth, and then
That's
dying.
right. Yeah, I agree with that.
They've
Yes.
mastered what it means to be a human,
Human. Mhm.
and they've mastered. They've shifted their thought to a point where they're no longer anchored in this third dimension. They think about love and light and relationships, and they look for shifting energies in a positive way, and so
Mhm.
they are available if we ask for the help and they want to give it. They'll make themselves present in whatever form you want to perceive them in. And that gets to this thing about already somebody in the chat. It's like, wasn't Jesus an ascended master? Wasn't Akhenaten? There's numerous people throughout
Genghis
the
Khan,
ages.
Mhm.
Genghis
Right.
Khan, Buddha,
Mhm. Yep.
Buddha,
Prophets.
which gets
Vishnu.
to the death question. Jesus
Hmm.
was that a death? Genghis Khan said to be the same,
Yeah,
ascended without dying. I don't know.
yeah.
I would like to. I would wonder about that. In my research, I'm finding a lot that the dying question is a big question.
Yeah, yeah.
To add to what you were talking about, Teresa, in a show I did on creation,
Yes.
the first thought was desire, and I
Hmm.
wonder, and that kind of makes sense because I think to be ascended or to work towards ascension is control of the self, control of
Yes.
the
Right.
emotions,
Hmm.
and that first thought being desire, that would be one heck of a devil to wrangle with
It is while
from
you're
the
here.
beginning. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So just wanted to add that to.
No, that's part of. Uh, there's no rule book that I'm aware of.
Mm-mm.
That's a
We don't get a
human.
manual coming
Humans
here.
humans make up things. Humans make up structures and rules and
Mhm.
regulations, and the whole idea behind deities and worship and all that. That's all man-made construct. The point is that everything, you know, if you look at it as an energy, everything is energy. Then once you've been through all of the emotions and all of the what it means to be human, the ups and the downs and the ins and the outs, you're just going back to pure energy. But you're going back with knowledge and wisdom from having been through all those
Mhm.
cycles. So you can choose to allow people to call on your energy to help you, to help them when they're questioning something. Asking questions is a good thing,
Yeah.
and that's how we learn and grow. And so I'll sit down and go, or Lori will say, "Have you consulted with your angel on this, or have you spoken to one
Your
of your
guide.
guides on this?"
Mhm.
And I'll go, "You know what? I haven't, and I really need to do that. I
Go
really
ahead,
need
Sophia.
to do that."
Yeah. Sorry, Teresa. You're
That's
right.
okay.
In my persuasion, when we draw up our soul contract before we incarnate in each lifetime, we have a spiritual team, if you will. And in previous shows, I've spoken of my philosopher, of my alchemist, my joy guide, my protector, which is where I'm pointing is where they will generally reside.
Mhm.
And
Hmm.
then your master teacher, it's part of your team. We come
Yeah.
down here to experience and accomplish things so we can ourselves ascend, as in essence. And the master teacher, I believe we have more than one, and like Lori and Teresa just said, communicating with them and knowing that they're there is half the battle. You can't really energetically flex or at least do what I do, giving readings. I don't think that's a solo venture. I mean, you do have your higher self, but when you incorporate your entire team, including your ancestors, which is also part of your team, it takes it to a whole new level.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
having shows like this and knowing that energy is available, and then educating yourself by participating in this kind of show and doing your research otherwise, including meditation. I cannot
Mhm.
stress that enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To get a good handshake with that kind of energy so you can grow and
Build a
accomplish
relationship.
what you came down here to do.
Mhm.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
Thank
well
you.
said. Well said,
Mhm.
Sophia.
Kids,
To
they're
which
going off right now, so I
Yeah.
had to jump in.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that.
to that I would
Yeah.
add that I don't think you necessarily need to be deceased to be an ascended master, and that a
No,
lot of
No.
us
no,
might
you
be ascended
don't.
masters without even knowing about it necessarily, because we live an entirely different life in our
I'm so
dreams.
glad he brought this
So
up.
a lot of people have dreams about being teachers in like some sort of university type
Uh-huh.
environment. So what if what if you are actually an ascended master to somebody
Mm-hmm.
else who's slightly less evolved than you are or has less data than you do,
Hmm.
and helping them out while at the same time relying on other people who have more information, more data, and more experience as your
It's
ascended
interesting
masters.
that you mentioned this, Dalibor, because the book that Brian Barnett had been reading, the Visible and Invisible Worlds of God, Carolyn Corby,
Hmm.
she has a unique perspective on this, in that she doesn't believe that they're necessarily deceased. She believes that they are immortals, and that maybe when their flesh ceases to be in this existing lifetime, they're in a stasis field of energy waiting to be reincarnated again, not for the purposes of clearing karma, but for the purposes of being utilized as a catalyst for something of a global impact or significance. If you take a look at people like Buddha, Jesus of Nazareth, Serapis Bey, Gandhi,
Saint
different
Germain.
Saint
Mm.
Germain,
That's,
they
mhm.
show up. They show up and manifest themselves in societies, not necessarily based on a particular religion, although that is a vehicle that they have used, or a specific geographic location, maybe. But it's something that's needed to help shift the energy of that time, of whatever events are transpiring in that. And so she said this, and I thought I'd run this by you guys and let you respond to it. They appear in human form on our planet as an infinitesimal particles of source, or what some call divine creator energy, and have broken down or departicularized their elemental composition several million times to fit into a human frame and our physical reality. When on Earth, this divine being recollects its memory fragmentation at the time of emergence in this physical system, through specific tasks and sacred communions, re-merges with the consciousness of Creator Source while still in the flesh, thus bringing the divine energy of the Creator Source into the human physical matrix. Such was the essence known as the Christos Spirit, for example, found in many others such as Buddha and Vishnu and so forth. This merging of the divine within a material world is the reunification of our planet with the Creator Source through the body of a human divine creator, and that is what is referred to as heaven on earth. So what she's saying is that this divine energy essence and presence never truly it crosses over from an energetic perspective and reunites with source, but it can come back in human form. It's just like the reincarnation cycle, only instead of cleaning up karma, it's waiting patiently for when it's needed at a certain time to make something happen or to get people to think about something in a certain way. So, in one respect, they're guides, like Lori taps into, they're guides, personal guides. And in another perspective, that energy, that Jesus like energy, or the Buddha like energy, or whoever you want to pick, it could be Odin, it could be anyone that you resonate with, that energy that helped change that society at the time might come back into play now with
Yeah,
some of
but
the weird crap
you
that's
know,
going on.
but yeah, that's an interesting supposition, but it opens up a whole new rabbit hole. Like by that
Uh-huh.
definition, somebody like Cortez would have been an ascended master because he reunited the people of South America with the greater human race.
Uh-huh.
the question is, was it in their interest or was it not in their interest? And does it always have to be somebody who's positive?
No. Go ahead,
What is
Sophia.
positive? Who judges?
You have to unmute.
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping Angel was going to jump in on that, because we have ascended masters that come down here wearing the cloak of darkness and deal with
Bifrost,
destruction.
like a
Exactly,
highway.
because a shift in consciousness needs to happen in order for people to either unite and pull together and grow, or I mean it's very complex, but
Yeah,
yeah.
by that definition, I would say that somebody like Charles Schwab, with his Star Wars outfit or whatever, a cartoon like Nazi guy, would be kind of an ascended master because everybody's uniting against him, pretty much.
Interesting.
Some say it happens on a cycle of 600 years. Every 600 years, there will be an enlightened one
Yes.
incarnate.
1400s.
Uh-huh.
1400s. What was going on in the 1400s? The Inquisition. Would that be? But would that be?
When was
fitting?
Joan of Arc? When was Joan of
Okay.
Arc? Maybe.
There you go. Yeah, that's a good example.
Yeah, just different ways of perceiving, and it could be they're both. It could be that they're all these things, and I think it comes down to what you believe internally, inside, what you resonate with.
Yeah, mastery of anything is the comprehensive knowledge or skill in a subject or accomplishment. So
I think there's multiple on this plane at any given time, whatever humanity needs to help us ascend, because that's ultimately the goal coming down here, is to open our minds and grow. And sometimes you need good and bad to facilitate that growth. Sometimes, in my opinion, not to throw any names out, because I think it's more the concept than the individual masters that present themselves, but to shake things up, get us out of our comfort zone, because that's where we grow. I think there's ascended masters among us now that don't really present themselves as someone that's famous, but yet because of those people, we are able to get further than we would without them, physically or energetically.
Yeah, of course. Just think of somebody as iconic as, for example, Tank Man. Was he famous? No. Nobody even knows what his name was.
Yeah. Now, I have heard some channelers and some other very highly spiritual, gifted teachers talk about a prediction that they've made with the shift that's going on over the next decade or so, or possibly 20 years, like John was just saying. It happens every so many years, he said, where they show back up in human form. There's going to be a teacher who emerges publicly when her teachings are transmitted through the human spirit matrix, as well as other earthly teachers, to unite all the people of our planet, regardless of race, religion, sex, or nationality. So, with all this division that's been going on, whoever this person is supposed to be someone who shows up to help bring all these different countries together. It doesn't matter the nationality, it doesn't matter religion, sex, whatever, but it's a uniting force of energy such as we've never seen before, that will have a significant global impact on humanity.
Like, for example, Bill Gates. He's done a lot to unite humanity. When you think about the fact that 98% of all PCs use Windows operating system, that's what facilitated the whole internet revolution, the computer revolution, whatever you want to call it, and enabled us to communicate right now in this space.
Nikolai Tesla, there's a good one.
Oh, there's plenty of them.
That guy's coming back. Presently, there's quite a bit of the patents that he created that were stuffed
Yeah.
It
Free
definitely needs
energy.
been,
Yeah.
yeah, well, I don't know about free. Everything's going to cost, but it's definitely going to be in there.
Hopefully someday it will be free
Resonance
energy.
frequency generators and that's
Mhm.
coming.
Yeah, Donald Trump might have some of that information.
Well,
Well, no doubt. No
when
doubt.
you
Investors would.
when you really think about it, even the energy sources we have today could be free energy if we didn't operate power companies on a for-profit basis, but if it was instead a true public utility that was there only to serve the people of that particular region or country. If it was construed as a public service instead of a for-profit corporation, we'd all
Right.
have free energy
Yeah,
right now.
absolutely.
We'd have free gas and free water.
Right.
But the trees
But
like
can't make
the trees like CO2, so I say burn, baby, burn. You know,
Yeah.
let's
We're
increase our
cutting down the
atmosphere.
trees. How about
Well,
some of that?
No,
Mm-hmm.
no,
Cut down the
no.
freaking trees.
Yeah. Don't cut down the trees. They make the oxygen and all that. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what the Sumerians apparently were doing, was coming here, taking resources and thickening their atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
So why are we doing the same?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt about it. Grandpa Brian, you want to chime in on the Ascended Masters? What's your understanding of Ascended Masters?
Well, I think we're all ascended masters because, you evolve densities. So, you have to become a master of that density to evolve. And I think a lot of us right now are becoming ascended masters because we're ready to leave this 3D world and ascend to that 50. And then I do believe there's 5D density beings that they're ready to evolve past that mastery into another mastery. So I think there's many different levels of mastery.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So I
I have
think
to
at
agree
one
with
time
the
we
different.
were all
Mm-hmm.
all masters at one time in a different density to get to this density. That's
Right,
part of the
right.
spiritual evolution.
Part of our growth as a divine being, having a physical experience, yeah, and being human. Go ahead,
Correct.
Angel.
Let me throw a wrench at you.
Okay.
How about the things that we've forgotten?
Like,
Innocence would come to mind first.
mm-hmm. You want to
All of these ascended, everybody's got the mechanics figured out. What about the things that a child can teach you? Well, the face
Yeah.
of an innocent is something
Yeah.
that none
Well,
of us here would
well, they're
represent.
the closest to the divine because they haven't been here and haven't spent as much time. So
And
they would
here we
have.
are in the middle of our
Yeah.
lives, furthest
Mhm.
from it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not
Well,
furthest.
As the older we
I
get,
would
yeah.
wonder what we're forgetting in this education we're attempting.
Mm.
What are we forgetting that's important from the source, as you say?
Yeah.
What are we
innocence,
forgetting about?
That's
That's
a
the problem with
tough one.
education in my mind is if you focus on a field, you tend to forget everything else that's important around it. Forest for the trees,
Correct.
I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Sure, but with innocence, that's a tough one to address because innocence. What
Yes,
is
it
it
is.
really? Is it a virtue? No. Is it a strength? No, not really. But it's something we tend to value in others who have it. So
It is a value.
I
That's the
agree
only
with
thing
that.
it's worth is value.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is. For me, it's primary, but
In the Bible, they claim that the way to heaven, one of the precepts to getting into heaven, is having a childlike wonder.
Oh yes.
exactly.
So
And the innocent,
point.
the meek shall inherit the earth, or the innocent.
Look at you and the Beatitudes, Teresa. Nice. Or those that are pure of heart will see
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Elohim. You can throw
But
that out there too.
having
Yeah.
not the innocence of a child, but being childlike in wonder
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
marveling at the universe and the works of God.
Mm-hmm.
Our scars cloud our eyes. Our scars cloud our vision. We start to look through the world through our scars, and innocence doesn't have the scars, so they see it as it is, not as they want it to be seen.
but it's those
Right.
scars that build character. It's
This
the
is true.
scar. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Holding on to a scar is as problematic as forgetting important things. The scar is important, I would say, yes,
Mhm.
I'm covered in scar tissue, but
Mm-hmm.
in
Mhm.
remembrance
And you
of
earned
an
every
event.
one of them. You earned every single scar you have.
And I'm constantly proving myself wrong with remembering the wrong things.
Hmm. Hmm.
But
I need
doing
to
the shadow
remember.
work. Hmm.
Yeah,
Shadow work.
exactly. That's it.
Yes. Yeah. Shadow work.
I use the ascended masters that are assigned to me, and there are multiple, to do my shadow work so I can release which no longer serves me. I think that's an intricate part of having ascended masters on our individual spiritual teams, is to remind us who we truly are and not what the world has tried to convince us we should be. To put us back in line when we turn it into all about us, because we're important, but we're not that important.
Right.
They give
Mhm.
us the perspective that this world tries to take from us.
Yeah.
The modern world.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
A
Well,
balanced
it
world
is
wouldn't
the
do
Earth
that.
School. We are in the
Right.
Earth School. We're here to
Hmm.
learn and grow and experience
Yeah.
duality and experience all that isn't in the divine etheric realms. So,
Yeah.
hmm,
Right.
yeah, it's a bit mind bending and blowing for sure. It's
I
like
think
if you
the
want your mind bent like a pretzel, start thinking about this stuff.
I think
Welcome
that
to my world.
yeah, true, Lori, true.
Mm-hmm.
But there is one thing that I don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable, but when the Theosophical Society came out with this whole concept of ascended masters, I think there's something people need to know here. Um, they had a slightly twisted perspective on things. And what I mean is this was a group of people who elevated their own sense of self-importance to the perspective that they themselves were a unique, eclectic, special group of people that had a corner market on esoteric knowledge and truth and secret hidden knowledge. And therefore, um, they themselves were an elite group of people. And they started connecting with these energies that they felt were superior beings that were an outward representation, or that they themselves were the outward representation of these superior beings. So they took the whole ascended master concept to a level that I know in my heart to not be true, because nothing outside of myself is greater than myself.
In other words, basically, they were a religion just like any other religion because that's what religions do. They set
Yeah,
themselves apart from society and
right,
think that they're better than the rest of society. That's all that
right,
religion is meant to do, is to divide people,
right.
divide,
And what
and
they did
It
just
is
can
set
they
be
went
themselves
out.
simplified.
above.
It
They
can be
went out.
simplified by one thing.
Yeah,
They're looking for a paycheck.
yeah, there you go.
Agreed.
But they went out and handpicked
Yep.
and handpicked specific characters in history and made them and elevated them to the status of ascended master. And I think Lori did a very good job in our opening video of showing a different alternative to that, and that is that we're all, and as Brian just said, we're all ascended masters in the making. And what came out of that Theosophical Society was an aberration of what's actually going on out there in terms of our interaction with these different energies and energy beings. And so I wanted to make that clear tonight, because I've talked to a lot of folks and they're all under the impression that there's something out there that's better than them, that's more superior, even more superior than angels, almost godlike. They made these ascended masters almost godlike. And it was a way for them to push an agenda that has nothing to do with what this
Sounds
energy
a
really
little
is.
cultish to
It was
me.
very cultish.
It sounds like what happens
Dogma always is.
when people
Mm-hmm.
make statues to people, only to
Mm-hmm.
throw those statues down later because they discover something about them in their past that they didn't like. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people would say what's his face? Gandhi was
Mhm.
an ascended master. But if you look deep into his personal background, you know, he did have some characteristics which were undesirable. I mean, he grew up in South Africa. He was a lawyer. He didn't like black people at all. So,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
there's things there's more things than you could shake a fist at about Gandhi, you know. So, you know, when you if you apply that same measure to all these statues out there, you know, theoretically all of them should be torn down.
Well,
Yeah.
if you look at it,
Yep.
Ego will screw things up and with the
Yeah,
quickness and
ego is
unbalanced ego.
mhm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nothing is greater or lesser than myself. It's just
there you
different
go.
levels of existence, different frequencies, and different
Mhm.
vibrations. And
Yes.
depending on where I'm resonating and where they're at, depends on the scenery and how close I allow them to get to me. You know,
Yeah.
keeping my ego in check and remaining usable is key, especially in something like this.
Mhm, mhm.
Mhm.
You know, are you part of
Mhm.
the solution or are you part of the problem?
And
Right.
here's something else, Sophia. Just because I channel, well, I don't do a lot of channeling, but let's say just because Lori channels, or just because Pamela Aaron channels, just because people channel a master, what they perceive to be an energy that they've tapped into, that's a ascended master, doesn't mean they're any better
Right.
than you, me, or anybody else who doesn't do that type of activity.
Mhm.
So just because you don't connect with an ascended master type energy and you only connect with angels, or maybe you don't connect with anything but, say, an alien being, maybe you connect with Palladians,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah, like
whatever.
Bashar or something
Or
like that.
right.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean that those who channel or are in contact with that energy level of what they consider masters to have been through enough cycles to give them some insight or guidance means that they're any better or any more effective at doing anything than anybody else.
Mhm.
It just means they have a way of tapping into that energy source and taking advantage of its value to help guide them with their own decisions that they need to make about things that make
Yeah.
them feel comfortable.
They want you to make the decisions. They're not
Right.
there to make the decisions. It's all about your free will and choice on how you're
Right.
going to do something. That's on
Mhm.
you, in my opinion.
Right. Right.
Hmm.
Right. I
Although,
like Gaza
actually,
Kov earlier on.
uh-huh.
He said his wife must be an ascended master to put up with him.
That's one way to look at it.
Gaza, you're a crack up. But yeah, I'm sorry, Lori. It's just there, Lori. When we're trying to figure something out, and we're both going, I wonder if. Well, let's consult these other energies and see what we get from spirit. Let's see what we get that comes in. Now, sometimes it's an energy from an ascended master. Sometimes it's an energy from an angelic.
Mm-hmm.
But usually we get enough to put together where together we come up with our own final understanding.
Yeah, our own gnosis of what
Our own
we
gnosis.
believe that rings true for us. Yeah,
Right, right.
that's
And so
true.
the same is true for all the rest of you. And
Absolutely.
anyone can tap into any energy.
Absolutely.
If you want to name the energy, that's entirely up to you. A lot of people will tell you, like Ann Tucker and Suzanne and plenty others will tell you, you don't need to label
Right.
anything. But if it helps you communicate verbally as a human with other humans, to be
Yeah.
able to say, guess who I talked to today? I spoke to Dolores Cannon, or guess who I channeled today? I spoke with Buddha, you know. If it makes you comfortable to give a name or a label to that energy, because you recognize that energy as such, then there's perfectly okay to name it and label it. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be somebody famous,
Right. Right.
you know.
Yeah.
I tapped
Exactly.
into an ascended master who ended up being my cousin. I recognized the energy. It was my
Because your
cousin.
cousin did the work.
Did the work.
I visit with entities, but I don't give them titles. They're
Yeah.
entities to me.
They'd rather
They're all the
not.
same, really, to me.
Yes. Right, John.
Yeah. I agree.
I'm the same way. I don't really find the need to give the
You know,
entity a
you
name.
could call anything a demon, but that in itself is going to put a thought in your head that it. I don't believe this, but some people would believe that a demon has power over you.
Right. And
Yeah,
if you
I
believe
know.
that, they do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that's why
If
I
you
stick to
allow it.
entities.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're a sovereign being and you're protected by all of positive light, then that's not anything that's going to come into play for you.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, which also means that you don't necessarily have to go out and seek them, because more than likely they're just going to find you on their own. If they take an interest in you, if they find you interesting, they may proffer a bit of advice or insight into your situation and hand that over to you, and you can do with it as you wish.
mhm. Mhm.
Sometimes you do get these like flashes of insight or anomalous cognition events that may or may not come from one of these ascended masters.
Mhm. It's all about truth. It's about your truth and what resonates with you and what feels good. It's not about right or wrong in my mind. It's more about the universe sees it as a positive or a negative. It's one or the other. It's either a positive thing or a negative thing. So for me, there's no right or wrong. There just is, and there's reasons why things like that happen. Bad things happen to good people. Good things happen to bad people. I mean, it's just all um,
Good point.
not who's right or wrong, but it's a positive, negative energy to me.
What do you think of this comment by Lucky's?
Yeah, that's what I
All in,
said. Yeah, he's got a
yeah,
good
all
point.
information
Yep.
has two parts: the one giving the message and the one receiving the message. The one who receives the message must use it. Yep. Yep,
Hmm.
that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Scotty boy.
Sophia, I'm wondering if you're getting anything from your connection. Did you catch that? I think she's connecting.
She's connecting.
Okay.
Let me fill in the void here. There are only two mistakes one can make along the road to truth: not
Mm-hmm.
going all the way and not starting. That's
Mm-hmm.
Buddha saying that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Hmm.
like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It all starts
information
with
is
the
two
first
parts.
step.
Yeah, you
Yep.
can receive, but what are you doing with it? Your
Mm-hmm.
antenna is up, but you're still picking up like channel 4 or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what are you doing with it?
Yeah, they wrote the information down how to ascend pretty much in the Bible and other scriptures. Um, they gave you the keys to controlling the self and mastery. If you read it and don't use it, then yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lack of commitment is an issue. Yes.
Yeah. Agreed. Mm-hmm. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. you know?
Hmm.
Sorry, Lori, I had a little signal blip there. Am I coming through okay?
Yes. Yes. We can hear
Well,
you.
sorry
Great.
about that.
So
Well,
I was just curious what you were getting from your team, so to speak.
um, I mean, through most of this conversation, it's basically allowing the information. And I saw somebody in the comments saying, you receive the information, one, because you allow it, two, because you're listening, three, because you're going to do something productive for
Mm-hmm.
yourself, which ultimately is going to impact everyone else around you. It's kind of like
Right.
the pebble in the pond.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but stand by,
Mm-hmm.
standing by. Give me a minute to recollect because
Hmm.
there's a lot of energy, one only on this panel but around me, and
Mm-hmm.
just
Gotcha.
staying usable. What kind of contribution to humanity do you want? I'm not channeling on live TV, thank you. Drive through, not yet. They're pushing, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not. It's
Hmm.
about allowing, I
Uh-huh.
mean, if I allowed it, it would be a oop, and I'm not to that point yet.
Okay.
But getting there, I'm
Okay, good.
practicing.
Very
um
good.
but mental
I'm being
mediumship is
nudged
thank
for
you.
you, Sophia.
Okay. It's humbling, especially since this can be replayed perpetually until the end of time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Very
that I
true.
have a full-time job, and things are getting, more acceptable in the
Yes.
real world,
Right.
and
Mhm.
I think that knowledge is power. And what you do with the knowledge that you're given by your ascended master is imperative. Who you share it with, how you share it, how you
Uh-huh.
approach, it's all about being useful. Like I've said before, there are thousands and thousands of people in line waiting for a body. We need a nervous system and a body to function on the physical plane. This physical plane is going to continue to exist, and what we do with our time down here with the people that are around us is imperative. If you want to be used, be usable. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank
that
you.
was a half. That
Well
was a
done.
Nice.
half.
Nice,
Well
Sophia.
done. Well done.
Ah, well done.
Well
Well
said.
done. I
Yeah.
love that. I love
Excellent.
that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Good,
sweating.
Now,
good, good.
let's take a look at this comment here
All right.
from Robert Garcia.
Okay.
I'm trying to find me a master to learn from. I want to grow
With
my
my
connection with
Mhm.
Mother Earth and true reality we live in. So he wants to find a master to connect with. So Lori, there are many energies out there. So how did you go about looking for connection with a couple of the ascended masters that you've been connecting with lately?
Well, quite honestly, let me think about that a second. I think first and foremost, I wanted to connect with a deeper part of myself, a part of myself that was kind and loving, that didn't want to create karma for any reason. And once I connected to that, then I think I proved to those divine energies that I was ready for more. And
Mm-hmm.
so just little by little and step by step, I would learn how to connect. And it started with meditation as well, quieting the mind, dropping the monkey mind, letting go of the day-to-day stuff and just really connecting to that larger part of who you are. And that sovereignty of yourself and searching for it deep inside yourself. I wasn't so much looking outside. And once I did that, that's
Uh-huh.
when they came to me and said, look,
Exactly.
we
Uh-huh.
would like to work with you because you're at a level where you really want to know more and you want to learn. And you're being honest with yourself. You're being honest with others. We think you're ready for more.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
That's
that's kind of how it happened for me.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Yeah, I would
Mm-hmm.
say, yeah, you don't have to go out there and look for somebody because
Mm-mm.
they're just going to find
And
you of their own
yeah,
accord.
just put your energy into things that resonate with you. People that you see on YouTube. YouTube has been an extremely valuable tool because
Oh yeah.
nowadays you can find anything on Ascended Masters. You can
Yeah.
find things that people channel. You can find things about self love and all
Yeah.
kinds of things. So
Mm-hmm.
if I were you, I would delve into just anything that really resonates with you. And if it feels good for you and you resonate with it, then go
Yeah.
with it. Yeah.
Is
Embrace
another
it.
way. Another way to look at this is it's just elaborating on what Lori's saying,
Mm-hmm.
and I like the way Karen put it to me the other night when we were talking about this.
Uh-huh.
She looks at it and she goes, who are we really connecting with?
Mm-hmm.
We are humans in human form. Part of us is in spirit, but while we're here in human form and while we're grounded to this earthly plane of existence, about the only thing we truly can connect to is our self, our higher self.
Mm-hmm.
So once you've done this inner work and you get through meditation, that inner conversation going on with yourself, the
Mm-hmm.
intuition that we talked about in the last week's program that we did.
Mm-hmm.
Once you've made that connection with self and you have a regular conversation going with self, you understand that there is an oversoul that has many of your experiences, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime of accumulated knowledge that you're not aware of consciously, but on a subconscious level, there's a whole lot of wisdom there for just your oversoul, just your higher self.
Mhm.
Now, the
Well,
higher self is a conduit. The
yeah.
higher self is a bridge to
Mhm.
other places that you cannot go as a human, because it's in a realm of frequency that you cannot sustain yourself.
Mhm.
So you let your higher self, your oversoul, be your connection, your bridge
Mhm.
to other energies that have that collective knowledge to bring you the wisdom that you need. So it's not a matter of finding a
Mhm.
particular master
Mhm.
or a particular character in history that's popular. It's a matter of knowing what it is you're looking for in an answer and
Mhm.
allowing yourself to feel that energy come in through your higher self. Go ahead.
And just be the best version of you can be. I mean,
Yeah.
be
Yeah, I would
truthful
say
to yourself, be truthful
be,
to others, treat
be
people the way you want to
authentic.
be treated. Yeah, be authentically
Be
you.
authentic.
And
Because
when you be,
if you're
yeah,
not authentic, then you're
hmm
going to attract people that are attracted to that non-authentic self,
exactly.
and
Yeah.
that ultimately causes more problems than
hmm
anything else. It's people who pretend to their own selves, not just their
hmm
own environment, but pretending to be something they're not.
Yeah. You're here to
And
be an individual, a unique individual. And each
Yeah.
one of us here is unique. We have
oh,
unique experiences and, many different things to draw from and think about this.
just
Every moment in your lifetime brought you to this very moment that we're sitting in right now. Everything we have done in the past has brought us here to where we
yep.
are talking about, learning about, and growing on these subjects.
hmm
And
Well,
we're
Good and
bringing
bad.
others in, yeah, good and bad. We're bringing others in to show them that this is how you do it. This is how you get started with this stuff.
just like Aleister Crowley said it, he says, every magician or every person on the journey should try to become an ipsissimus, as he called it. An
Mm,
ipsissimus means it's derived from Latin, and it's ipso, and
So
Yeah.
issimus means the most self. The most yourself that you could be. In other words, your most authentic self. But if you
honest
extrapolate
self.
that mathematically, what does that
hmm
mean? It also means being as free as you could possibly be, which
Yeah.
means
Free to
you're
be
not
you.
exactly, yeah.
hmm
Freedom should be your highest value, just like it is mine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And sovereignty and knowing that you are a sovereign being.
Exactly.
You are divinely free.
That's
You may
why.
not feel free in the physical form, especially with
Mhm.
governments and other things like that, but in that divine part of who you really
You,
are,
you're
you're
free in the
100% free and sovereign.
sure,
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
nothing outside of you.
You're free even in the realm of government, because ultimately you don't have to listen to any of these people.
hmm
Um, you don't.
Yeah. Angel?
Sure.
Yeah.
Angel has a perspective.
I maybe it's just a question of mechanics, but we're here
hmm
on this plane for
hmm
a reason.
hmm
Yes.
Yes.
Um, I have connections that I'm absolutely necessary for who I am. Have motivated me to push in different directions that have opened up, have
hmm
closed off, have pushed me
Yeah.
in. As far as the self, I'm, of course, absolutely. Again, I would caution against. You need other people on this plane. We have to bounce off ideas. Then is that not what we're
Absolutely.
doing
As
currently?
above, so below. That's
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly it. We are one,
yeah.
we are many.
We gotta have each other. Otherwise, we're
Yeah,
gonna scatter.
absolutely.
I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
do
Not
we
saying that
snipe
you
Sure.
this
have to
thing or do
just
we
yeah,
scattershot
you
it?
don't you need that love and support from everyone around
Absolutely. I
you.
mean,
But
ultimately, I'm
it's the
responsible for
people
myself,
it's the
but
people that you choose to spend your time with. It's the people that resonate with you. You
I
have
don't
a
know.
choice.
I've been affected by some people that I would not want to be around.
Yeah.
But I've
And
had a
so
positive experience. One
yeah,
gunnery sergeant I would point
yeah,
to very specifically. I'd like
right.
to punch him in his
But
eye, but
what did you
I grew.
learn from that gentleman? And I'll just leave it
Absolutely.
at
That's
that.
the question.
What did you learn from that?
Right.
If you learned one thing, then it was worth every minute of it.
I learned a lot more than one, I promise. But
There
again,
you go.
It's not an experience I would want to have, but I needed it.
Yes. But it
We go
made you the
kicking and screaming like children
yeah,
into the
help make
wind.
you be the person you are today and make you as strong
Yeah,
as you could possibly be.
yeah,
Don't
yeah.
you
I
think you're
need
a
everybody.
stronger
I need you.
individual?
And,
You
I
got it,
wouldn't be here
Angel.
without it. This is what
That's
I
right.
needed, obviously.
That's right. Yeah, and
So,
that's all we're really saying is just the love and support
okay.
between us all and how important that is. Wouldn't you agree, Max? Do you agree or
He's muted.
Yeah, I did do that.
Yeah, I would say I agree.
Yeah.
awesome?
Well, you
I'm
know,
over
Yeah,
here in chat.
leave it to the working man to put his feet in the mud and leave it and
Yeah.
lean on the women to go play in the wind. 'Cause you guys are great at that. No, I don't want to disregard that. That is, to me, that's where we come from in the Norse tradition. Is
Yes, yes.
the women do this
Divine
ethereal moving around,
feminine
and the men like cut down
creative
trees and
force. Yeah, yeah,
cut necks and
yeah,
such.
yeah.
You guys do all that ethereal stuff, and I'm just gonna keep my feet in the mud while you tell me what to
Are
do.
you in touch with your own divine feminine? Or do you
No,
simply
not
see
at all.
yourself
We
as
argue all the damn
just
time.
but you're referring to your wife, aren't you?
No, she's awesome. I don't bother arguing with her. I know better.
Yeah,
She's got
but
great ideas, and best
I'm
thing ever happened to
speaking
me by far and by a long way.
I'm
But
just
no,
speaking
I'm
more about the energy
my
within
own
yourself.
femininity.
Yes,
It's
yes,
yeah, it's
yes.
like this
Your
big,
divine creative.
yeah,
Okay.
Growing.
shrunken head over there.
You have to have the balance, and if you're
yes.
I'm
speaking
working on balance. Balances, yes, of course, obviously
Yes.
balance, but fuck that.
Well,
the name of what Angel's speaking of is called spe
Oh.
in the Nordic tradition. It's the walking between the worlds. It's the working of uh, spiritual exercises.
It's the
if
1
you
foot
will.
in and the 1 foot out, huh?
And women are far better at it than men.
you know
See,
what, Angel? You've inspired me. I'm not going to have a feminine side. I'm going to have a soft
Good,
man
because you ain't
side.
no damn good at it, bro. I
And
promise. You're just faking
you
it.
know,
Let them do it. Tell you what to do.
yeah, I
You go
agree.
build stuff, turn
Yeah,
wrenches, change the
I'll have
oil.
my rough and
Yeah,
tumble
let
masculine
them.
side, and then my
Exactly.
soft side. You know,
Exactly.
my
They're
soft
better at it.
masculine
Just leave
side.
it alone.
You
Yeah.
know,
Well, there is a balance of the two energies. You can balance them both, and
Absolutely.
you
But
can be quite powerful from both
yeah,
of them
that's
if
my
you
point.
don't let the indoctrination of a masculine and feminine, what the idea socially is about it. You
You're
it,
talking
just have it.
heteroskamos, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
balance, male and female.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
mhm,
that's
That's
by definition. You got to have the both. You got to have
right.
one strong one way and one strong the other. Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, energetically, you have masculine and feminine. In my opinion, it doesn't have to do with what you're born with to
Right.
reproduce. Are you
Hmm.
receptive, projective? You know,
Hmm.
it's are you? Do you give? Do you take? In the balance of the give and the take, you can be effective.
Hmm.
Because if you have too much of one and not enough of another, you're off balance and you're going to
Hmm.
cause discord with your energy. I
Hmm.
think that's why when Grandpa Brian said tapping into your feminine energy as a male, is very
Hmm.
important because it provokes balance because you're able to receive, which is feminine, and able to
Hmm.
project, which is masculine.
Right.
Pull the reproductive part out of it and it makes a lot more sense.
Hmm. Hmm.
mhm,
Hmm.
yeah,
It's
I
just
so do.
equal balance of both energies.
we do
Right,
have what they call a masculine and feminine side of our brain. So,
Yes.
but
right.
you
Yeah, but mine's atrophied. I got
know.
Right now, it's not
See,
For
very
I
now.
like to think of it more as the analytical and the artistic,
true.
right?
I like that, Max. I do. I
You
like that.
Hmm.
know.
Good talk. I'm a fan.
Yeah,
Oh
very much. It
God.
was really deep tonight, wasn't it? Uh,
artistic.
Teresa, we did want to chat about the Crystal Network,
Yes, we
and there were some
do.
questions about that. I thought this would be a good
Yes,
time to do that.
that's right. Okay, so I've been talking with Karen when I found out through Robert's show the other night with Al that the website had been down for a while. Karen um, maintains 2 separate websites. And together, they're quite expensive to manage and maintain, not to mention labor intensive, because there's a lot of crossing over between the 2 sites. One is her Crystal Rock network, where she does all of her mining operations and carvings and sells all her products. The other is the Queen of Quartz Crystal Network, which Lori is bringing up right now. And she had them offline temporarily because she was dismantling them and trying to figure out which elements she wanted to keep together in a unified, one single website with one domain and everything else. So she has temporarily put back Queen of Quartz Crystal Network in its latest version temporarily so that folks can order the angel cards from Al. Marsha's Christmas inspirations are coming up, so there's a location there for you to order stuff.
Click
from
on the
Marsha.
shop. Click on the shop.
And then Karen has some brand new beautiful crystals that she has been carving, and she has a whole Christmas set available to order online here as well. So you could take a look at her section and see all the beautiful crystals.
Also,
that
Marsha's inspiration, her Organite and Pyramids. And then you've got the Big Owl creations with the angel cards.
She's going to be updating that section too for Al and clarifying it, streamlining it, and making it a little bit more effective. But she's traveling. She'll be leaving somewhere around the 10th or the 12th, heading to British Columbia. She's going to stay there for a while with her friend and then go visit her sister down in Texas for a while as well. So in between all this, she's doing business consulting, contract work. She's selling her products and services. She's modifying the website. So there's a lot going on. And she hopes to be here maybe next week to say hi to everybody before she takes off and to update you on her latest additions for her Christmas pendants and stones. They're quite rare and quite unusual. So they're not like anybody else's work. And she does hand carve figures into some of them as well. So she just wanted you to know what was going on. She's sorry that it was caused a temporary disruption. She didn't think that there were that many people on it on a regular basis for it to have affected anything. And so she's worked quickly to get it back up and running. Now, you won't be able to get to her Hard Rock Miner site anymore. So everything's going to be coming from here, and she's going to set it up so that there's shopping, education, and videos and channels. So she's going to have it so that it's a lot easier to navigate and find things moving forward. So she wishes you all well, and check it out when you get a chance, and do some Christmas shopping, folks, because we only have a few weeks away, and we've got plenty of tribe members out there selling products and services. So she'll be updating the sites again this winter and adding more. We'll have to add some more stuff for all my relations and other folks, other channels. Which brings me to the paranormal channel. Sunday night, Lori and I are joining Matt Slozer on his program, the paranormal channel, Sunday Night Dead Show with Matt. And we're going to be talking about shadow figures, spirits. Are they spirits? Or are they some type of demon? Or are they some type of manifestation brought about sleep paralysis? Are they egregores? What does Dracula have in common with the Top Hat Man, for example? They're both shadow type beings and seen by people all over the world. So we have some theories and some ideas, and we're going to do a deep dive with Matt on Sunday night. So Lori and I are joining him for that discussion. That's at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday night on the Paranormal Channel.
Yeah.
All right. So if you get a chance to subscribe, go on over to Matt channel, Paranormal, and subscribe. He's got some great discussions. Nancy Matz is on there periodically. You all met Nancy a few weeks ago, and we'll be having her back on at some point too. Next week, Sophia is going to be doing her psychic readings for our channel.
So if you have a question for Spirit or whomever she connects with, you're definitely going to want to check that show out and be in chat and put your questions up.
Yeah, and we'll back her up like we did before. Dalibor, Lori, and I will be there as well. Go ahead, Sophia.
Dolly had a question.
Yeah.
Flashes of what she has flashes of what is going to come to be, and she wants to know if that's from her ascended master. I think that's an important question that I saw in chat, and I would say that it can come from your higher self, depending on what kind of flash it is.
Could come from the ether.
But some do. It just depends on the context of the flash and what information you're receiving as far as which guide it's coming from. So I just wanted to make sure that her question was addressed, because I think it's a very important one. And thank you for throwing that in there, Dolly.
Thank you, Sophia.
And any questions like that, next week when I'm reading, it doesn't have to be a reading. If you've had like something happen that doesn't make sense, I can dial into it. I remote view. I mean, there's a lot of gifts and talents that I have that's beyond just reading. So if there's something that you have question or would like assistance with, I make myself available, because Spirit makes them available to me to help myself. So it's kind of like a pay it forward.
Yep, kind of absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the drive I feel too, and I am driven by this stuff 24/7, literally. Yeah.
Also,
make her sleep.
Yep.
Let's see what else. Smoking and G. Smoking and G. I think she's probably left. She was here earlier, but she is going to start ramping up her shows again. She's been doing a lot of remodeling and home improvement, moving into this new house. So she's had a few short breaks here and there, but she's trying to do a regular show on Sunday nights or Monday nights. And she's going to put a panel together with her on some subjects. And Dalibor said, yes, G. And John, I mentioned it to John earlier. So dealing with that topic you want to cover sounds good. So we'll be doing a little bit more with G as well on her program. So be on the lookout for that. That'll be sometime a week from now down the road. So we're having fun supporting each other and getting on each other's programs and doing something different. There's Smoking and G.
Awesome.
There we go. Yeah. Dalibor and said it's right up his alley. So.
Oh, yeah.
And he wants to talk about some other things too, G. So I'm going to send him your email address so that you and Dalibor can talk about some ideas, because he's got some good thoughts too.
Yes, he does.
Okay.
He's full of them.
He's full of them. They're right up your alley, G. They're right up your alley.
No doubt. He gets you to think. I love that.
Yeah. I'm on Skype, so just look me up based on my name. I'm on Skype. That's one of my dominant modes of communication, you could say.
Awesome.
Oh, I don't know if she has Skype, but it's easy enough to load.
It's easy enough to download.
Well, and you always have email too. You can always do that.
Yeah, except with email, it's kind of difficult because I get too many of them, and sometimes a message doesn't necessarily get through to me in time. So you know how it is.
Well, you got Teresa.
Yep,
so
there you go.
That's your networking system right there. She's quite the networker.
Yeah, I'll send him your email. No problem, G. I'll take care of it.
Awesome.
We'll get you guys set up, because he has some ideas for some show topics that you and John both of you would probably love. So, okay.
Very diverse panel tonight, I would say.
Yes.
I love the guys on here.
Yeah.
I love the Divine Masculine. Thank you for being here and giving us your
Class
input.
is canceled tonight, by the way.
Oh, Max.
Yeah,
I was just going to ask if you were going to have
a class.
No,
you're not feeling
class
good?
tonight,
Oh,
no.
sorry, Max.
So we'll do a daytime show tomorrow, probably around 3 in the afternoon, and hopefully we'll get class up and running again tomorrow night.
Okay. 3 in the afternoon tomorrow, maybe. Okay, cool.
Yeah, around that
Awesome.
time.
We'll be looking
Well,
for
thanks
you.
for being here, even though you don't feel well. We appreciate your input.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Feel better.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sending you lots of white light and healing.
I'm on the
So it is.
mend, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's only been like a half a day that I've been kind of down.
Yeah.
Mine
You're not
came
down
back.
for long, that's for
No.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine came back. I kicked it over Thanksgiving weekend. It was a 2-day thing, and kicked it. And now it's starting to come back, eke its way back in. It's my whole area around here. Everybody
Yeah.
around here.
A lot of people
At
here
the
too.
stores, everything.
That time of year.
Everybody's sneezing. Yeah.
Yep.
Weird.
Yep.
They hit us
Very weird.
last. I did a show. They hit us last weekend with high EMFs in my area.
Mm.
That triggers a response in you. So
Sure.
Mhm.
It sure does.
I've
Yeah.
noticed that I'm feeling better ever since I doubled my intake of vitamin D.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
I'm taking 20,000 IUs instead of 10,000 IUs,
yeah,
and I'm
Mhm.
doing 2 grams of vitamin C a day,
Nice.
among
Wow.
others.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's good.
Awesome.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do a lot of D up here too.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yay.
I'm in the north,
Especially
like
in the
you,
winter. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
No
Actually,
sunlight.
I'm even more northern in a more northern latitude than any of you guys, even though it doesn't feel like that over here because we got the Gulf Stream blowing across the continent. So, we get less sunlight here than any of you guys do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you really need that extra.
Yeah, extra
Yeah.
D.
Good,
Mhm.
good, good.
I saw
Mhm.
Michaela stick her face in there for 2 seconds.
Oh, she's there. She's there.
Michaela, stick your face up there again.
She's in the other room. I got a
Oh,
fire in
she's
the
in the other
fireplace.
room.
Maybe.
She's in
Yeah,
the other
no
room.
worries.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's sitting comfortably. I'm
Good.
relegated
Good.
to the damn shed. So
Yes. Good for-
Mhm.
Oh,
Well, thank you, Sophia,
There
for
she comes.
inviting
There she
John
comes.
of Angel to join us.
Great.
There she comes. Is Michaela coming?
She
There we
can't
go.
hear you, but
There you are. Hi.
Mhm.
Thanks for
everyone.
joining us. Thanks
What
for
I do
lending
was
us Angel
I
for the
didn't curse
evening.
once, did I?
Angel did a great
He did
job.
excellent.
Aw.
Aw,
You
Love
got
that.
points, bud.
Love and support right there.
There you
Gotta
go.
have it.
There
I
you
Yep.
got what I
go.
need.
Dang right
Yeah.
you do. Yes,
Thanks,
you
Sophia,
do.
for inviting Angel to join us.
Yes,
Really
yes.
appreciate
Glad
It
to
was
have
fun.
you with us,
Great
Angel.
meeting you, Angel.
Yep.
It was fun.
We'll have to have you
Mhm.
back
I don't
on.
feel like I beat up on anybody, so
No, you did a
No,
great
you
job.
didn't.
You did
Good.
good. Very balanced, I would say, and
Digging it,
that's
brother.
that's
wonderful.
the point
Yes.
right there. That's what I'm
Yeah.
trying
Yep.
to do.
Good job. Good job.
Like a
You
true
accomplished
ascended
that.
master.
Like a who?
Yes.
Like a what?
Like a true ascended master.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, no, I would not claim that. I wouldn't. No. I'm working. I'm working on it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just working on the mechanics and the math. That's all.
Yeah, feel
Yeah.
you there. All right. So next week, Sophia, it's going to be your time to shine once again, and we're looking
Yeah.
forward to
Do it.
that. And really appreciate everybody being here and everybody that was in chat. Robert Garcia, thank you so much. Dolly
Yeah.
Belfour, hello, Dolly. Milky Way Soul Tribe, Robert V. Smokin' NG, Scotty Boy, Beloved Abstract.
Yeah. Musgrave Griffin.
Musgrave Griffin. Let's
Mary
see who else we
Wins.
Posey. Always a pleasure.
Chloe.
Pajo. Lucky Stone 888. Love it. Thank you
Max
so
D.
much, all of you guys, for being here. It just makes
love
it
you
that much
guys.
sweeter. And yes, so much love and appreciation for all
And
of
Robert
you.
V. He must have something. Oh, so
Oh,
10:20
hell
already.
Yes. Yeah. So let
okay.
him do his show, and we are going
Yep.
to say goodnight. And thanks again. And Max got his little kitty right there. Kitty
Yeah.
Max.
Kitty.
All hail
He's
the
so
tail.
cool. All hail the tail. I love that.
Mhm.
All right. We'll see y'all.
For
Try
now,
to catch us Sunday.
peace out, everybody.
I was like a drunk.
Right on. Good job.
Peace.